What's up, everyone? And I hope everyone's day is going well. Today, I'd like to share a quick update from HUMBL that was released on April 1st. And remember, I'm not a stock wizard. At the end of the day, these are just my opinions of this stock. I'm literally just an idiot on YouTube who tries to make financial videos as entertaining as possible. So listen, if you find yourself returning to my videos and haven't subscribed yet, just go ahead and do it already. It's so easy to see that a majority of you guys that watch my content aren't even subscribed. So please subscribe, as it definitely helps my small channel grow, and it means a lot. So again, thank you to everyone for all the support that you guys show with these HUMBL videos. It's easy to talk about stocks when all they do is go up. So when I talk about stocks like HUMBL, where it seems like all they've done is gone down, it's definitely not easy. The reason I still talk about HUMBL though is because I'm still a shareholder and I can see this company growing nicely over the next few years. I haven't sold a single share of HUMBL, even though it's currently my worst performing stock in my portfolio. Being down over 90% in a stock isn't easy, and when you compound that with the fact that HUMBL is still an early tech company and the fact that it's still a shorted stock, I think at this point it'd be easy to just throw in the towel. But like I mentioned, HUMBL is a company that I see a tremendous amount of promise in. I'm sticking with my conviction that HUMBL is eventually going to become a growth giant and will be able to provide some extremely lucrative returns for investors. Especially when you consider the fact that HUMBL now has the ticketing platform Tikiri under their wing, and summer is just around the corner. So I think HUMBL will easily be able to increase their revenue to a considerable amount over the next few months, since a lot of their revenue is tied to the ticket sales that get processed through Tikiri's platform. And since HUMBL recently announced all of their 2021 financials, we can see that their total revenue for the year was roughly 2.5 million, which I'm not gonna lie, for a tech startup, that's incredibly impressive in my opinion. Especially when you consider the fact that an overwhelming majority of tech startups aren't making jack shit the first few years. So props to HUMBL here. And although HUMBL is still in debt a considerable amount and had a $49.6 million net loss for 2021, which isn't exactly the nicest thing to look at, even if a majority of that net loss was accrued through acquiring all the companies that HUMBL gathered up. But of course, another way to look at this loss is an investment into the businesses that will soon be generating HUMBL even more revenue over the coming years. But enough of my rambling, let's get into why you clicked on this video in the first place. HUMBL secures additional financing round and reduces debt through the exchange of notes for stock. So HUMBL announced that it has now reduced its debt balance by exchanging promissory notes for common stock. And remember, all a promissory note is a financial document that contains a written promise by one party, the note's maker, to another party, the note's payee, for a certain amount of money, either on demand or at a specified future date. So you can kind of think of a promissory note as an IOU contract. So as for the details, on March 28th, 2022, HUMBL entered into exchange agreements with various note holders, and in accordance with these agreements, HUMBL exchanged promissory notes representing roughly $3.2 million in outstanding debt obligations for roughly 37.4 million shares of common stock. And furthermore, in addition to the note exchange, on March 30th, HUMBL received a $1.5 million investment from Satori LLC in exchange for the investment. And in exchange for the investment, HUMBL issued a promissory note to Satori in the original amount of $1.5 million. And I think it's important to call out here that baked into this note is an interest rate of 4% per year and is due in 3 years from the issuance date. However, while you might be thinking, okay, a 4% interest rate is pretty decent for HUMBL, especially in the current United States economy where inflation is basically sitting at a whopping 7%, well, this isn't a fixed interest rate, unfortunately. Satori actually has the right to accelerate the note and increase the interest rate all the way up to 8% upon the occurrence of a default event. And because of this, the company is currently sitting at a cash position of $5 million. So regarding this whole statement, Brian Foote said that HUMBL is grateful for the confidence that our early investors continue to show in the company. We are also highly cognizant of our debt load at the company and will continue to look for ways to reduce that in the future. So overall, I think this is just a really nice way of saying, yeah, HUMBL's still in debt, but not as much as before. So while this overall might not exactly be the best news, I think if we reflect on what HUMBL has done throughout 2021 and even into 2022, they've made some incredible accomplishments and acquired some really unique companies that should be able to help boost HUMBL's revenue. But if you're someone who's really worried about your HUMBL stock position, I think this is how you should look at it. HUMBL is a penny stock, and with that, you're taking on a huge risk and putting your faith in a company that isn't profitable yet. There's no doubt about that. However, with that being said, the reason that I believe HUMBL can truly be a profitable and successful company doesn't only lie in the fact that a majority of the world could find incredible use in HUMBL's products, but rather, and probably one of the most important things, HUMBL makes digital products, which means their products are incredibly scalable. So as their customer base grows, I think HUMBL will easily be able to meet demand. So overall, I'm not worried with my HUMBL position, as I'm in it for the long haul. I think for the most part, HUMBL is doing the right things, and they're really planning and thinking ahead from what I can see. And couple that with the fact that HUMBL will continue to make, at least what I would consider, easy passive income from their NFT and ticket sales. I mean, think about it. The NFT gallery is already built, and while I'm sure we'll continue to see updates and improvements to it in the future, the fees that HUMBL's charging for each sale of an NFT is going to keep adding up incrementally as they continue to scale out their business to eventually become the fintech super app that I think we all know they can be. Anyway, that's the video for today, guys. Hopefully you found it both informative and entertaining. And I just wanted to remind you guys of why HUMBL is such a great company and the reason we all decided to invest in them in the first place. I know calling HUMBL a downhill roller coaster ride would probably be an understatement, but regardless, I will continue to upload videos to keep everyone up to date on everything that HUMBL releases in the future. So be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my content. Thanks as always, guys, and I'll catch you next time.